Recording. All right. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Angie's World podcast. If you're new here, my name is Angie, aka Angie's World, and my lovely guest today is an actor. He's the star of the critically acclaimed TV series Bounce, who's produced by Cedric the Entertainer. He's been in countless movies: Nutty Professors, Girlfriends in Plain Sight, Boston Legal. That's just to name a few. Derrex Brady in the building.
Hey, yo, thanks for having me, Angie. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for coming to my podcast. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. Listen, I had to be here for you. Come on, Angie. So, I get the invite. I'm coming.
Thank you so much. This is such a treat to have you here today. How is it out there in LA? You're tapping in all the way from LA. So thank you for waking up early in the morning and coming on this podcast with me. How's LA? How's the weather? Tell me what's the vibe out there.
LA is popping, but it's hot right now. I'm going to be full disclosure. I was doing the LA thing this morning. I went on a hike up in the mountains trying to get right. And but it's hot out here. It is hot. It's beautiful, but it's hot.
Yeah, you always got to stay protected, got to have the SPF, got to stay hydrated because it's definitely hot. But LA, well, you're actually in LA County, or you just live another place in California?
No, I live right by LA. I'm in Santa. Well, I'm like, should I even say I'm in Santa?
You don't have to. You're adjacent to LA.
There you go. So yeah, it's about 25, 30 minutes from LA. Yeah.
Oh, so that's good. So you're right by the city, but you don't have to deal with the traffic and all the craziness. You could kind of be like right outside.
Yeah, and when I have to go that way for an audition or for a meeting, I'm kind of going against traffic, so I can still flow. When I come back, it's a little bit more traffic, but yeah, it's like by the city, but not really in the city. So you have a little bit more of the the life outside. So it's still cool. I can pop in and out.
Absolutely. I was looking. I was like, I want to move to California. I want to live in a beach town. I like Redondo Beach over there, which is like close enough to LA, but it's still like a beachy kind of area where you're like not in all the craziness. Cause I'm like, if I move to LA, it's the same thing. I live in New York City. It's basically the same thing. I'm like, I don't want the city life. I want the beach life.
Yeah, the beach life is nice. I have some friends that have some places over off of Venice.
Yes,
kind of like it, and that's nice. That's really cool. It's like a cool vibe. It's a little, and it slows down for some reason by the beach.
Absolutely,
it kind of slows down.
That's what I said I want. I said I'm going to be one of those people that have a beach apartment and they have their bike hung up on the wall, and I take my little bike off and I go on the boardwalk and I'm like bike riding. It's so different than the life here in New York. But I was like, it's kind of cool.
Okay. When's the last time you've been to LA?
You know what? Never have been, but I do a lot of research. It's so crazy. Because I know a lot of people in Cali on by the LA area, and I even know people in Oakland and different places, and I need to come visit, but I do a lot of research. Absolutely. And before we get into like the conversation, for those of you guys that don't know, Derrex Brady, even though he lives in California, you're from Grand Rapids, Michigan, right? And you currently reside in California. Tell me a little bit about how long have you been living in California?
I basically almost all my life. I mean, I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I was born there. I would say 98% of my family's still there. My mom came out when I was little, and we came to Orange County, and then I grew up there, and then from Orange County came out to Long Beach.
That's what's up.
I spent time in Long Beach, and then when I really was like focused on the acting thing, came out to Burbank, which is like right outside of LA. There's also a lot of studios over there, like Disney has a place over there. DreamWorks. So I was in Burbank, and that's where I was for a lot of years. And about 8 years ago, we came out to Santa Clarita to get property out here, get a house out here. You get more bang for your buck. And so, but interesting enough, my first series was out here in Santa Clarita. My very first series, when houses were going for like a $99,000, which is out here is like. That's like, you don't find that. And I remember telling my wife, I was like, I'm only working out there. Who's going to be out there? Now houses going for, $1 million and up. I messed up on that one.
It's so crazy. So, but it's
Yeah.
so funny because you always, every chance you get, you always rep in Michigan. So that's dope. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. Um,
Yeah. And I would go back every summer and visit my grandmother. So I'm really connected to my cousins. And yeah, I got to get back again really soon. But I love, yeah, Grand Rapids, Michigan all day.
That's what's up. I love that. All right, Derek. So for those of you guys that don't know, I read somewhere that before, well, I'll let you tell it. I already know this story. Before, we get into, your career. Um, and of course you're a successful actor. Before,
Thank you.
tell me a little bit about your childhood. Did you always love acting?
You know, I did. I always loved being able to make people laugh or being able to move people. I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that my aunts would tell me that I would walk around and be singing, like I would sing Michael Jackson songs, and even though I can't sing, but I would dance and I would do
Performative.
stuff, perform for them and entertain them and tell jokes and just make them laugh. And so I knew I wanted to do that. I knew I had this thing that I could do that people would
Mm-hmm.
like to watch, and then I could move them in certain ways. It wasn't until about 7 or 8. I grew up always watching TV with my mom, and I would be able to like see the commercials maybe 1, 2 times, and then I could just mimic the commercials
Oh, I
like
love that.
on beat with whoever's talking. And I knew then, I was like, man, I think I can make words feel real too. And so I think about 8 is when I was like, I want to do that. I
Yeah,
want to do that.
I read somewhere that your mom introduced you to the world of acting through double feature
Yeah.
movies on Saturdays that y'all would go to.
Yeah. I don't know if they do them anymore. Have you ever been to a double feature?
I think so. Maybe when I was
Like,
younger.
yeah, like I think like years ago they used to have it where you could go see 2 movies for like the
Yes.
same price. It was like
Yeah.
not, a big deal. And so I remember going to see movies with my mom, and we would see double features and be there all day, and
Yep.
neither one of us would get tired of it, and we love it. And that's when I really was like, I can't get tired of this world. Like, I want to
Yes.
be part of this world. And I just loved filmmaking. I loved watching, all this imagination go on. And so my mom, and then also like when we were at home, if my friends, if they like, left, the block with their parents, or none of my friends were around, I'd be coming in and out bored. And my mom would go, come here, just sit down and watch this with me. And I would be so mad. I'd be so angry. I
Right.
don't want to watch this. And then by
Right.
the end, I'd be asking her a million questions, and I
Yeah.
like loved what I was watching. So that's when I knew I just loved the arts of cinema.
That is so dope. And it's so crazy because usually when people are younger, it's kind of like when you get bit either the acting bug or
Yeah,
radio or something,
yeah,
you always kind of know. And it's so dope that your mom was like into movies. So
yeah,
spending time around your mom kind of got you into that as well. Just sitting under her
absolutely,
and just watching the TV. You're like, wait a second, I'm kind of
absolutely.
into this. Are you
Yeah.
half Asian? Because you look half Asian for sure.
You know what? I get asked that. No, I'm not. I'm
Okay.
not.
That's
I'm
a
not.
compliment, by the way.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's interesting. I've been asked that a lot, and no, I'm not. There's rumblings. You hear rumblings. You like, oh, there's some Japanese or somebody, but I'm like, I ain't met them. I haven't met them, so no, I don't think so.
Okay, so you just straight African American. I feel like
From
if
what
you,
I from what I know, I mean, I've heard rumblings of Japanese, but I don't know where that is.
I
So
feel like it's in there.
yeah,
You got to do 23andMe or something like that.
okay.
I feel like something's gonna come back, and you're gonna be like, "Yo, Angie, I did it, and I do. I have
Yeah.
some Korean or something somewhere."
Yeah. I need to do it. I need to do it. I need to do it.
The reason I asked you that is because when I was reading up on you, first of all, you look half Asian, which again is a compliment. And second of all, I saw that your mom's last name or middle name was Lee or something like that. And I was like, I wonder if he's half Asian.
Yeah, that. Yeah, we that's a whole list of Lees, man. That's the family name right there. It's funny. It's certain things. It's interesting to see certain things that people do to try to bring respect in your name. Back in years back, where there was no respect, especially for African Americans. My grandfather's name was Governor,
Mm-hmm. I
and
saw
his
that
last
too.
name was Lee. So you had to address him as Governor Lee.
I like
The
that.
famous war guy. So it's just so interesting but yeah, not I don't know where that lead came from though, but yeah.
You know what? Jay-Z did that too. He said the same thing about his son. He named his son. Sorry, hold on. I got my cat over here jumping on me. Excuse me. They try to make like a little bit of a debut. But so Jay-Z was saying the same thing about his son. He named his son Sir, like SIR, yeah. Sir. And he said, you know, when you address, I like that name because it sounds so powerful. When you address him as Sir. He said that. I saw a quote.
Yeah.
So
that's one of my boys is named that Sir Darius.
That's awesome.
He was you see the Jumanji? You see the Jumanjis that came out? He played the football player, the black guy who was the football player. His name is Sir Darius. So when you address him, you gotta throw Sir in there.
Gotta Sir. Yeah, that's so cute. I love that. Yeah. So awesome. All right, so we got that. So let me ask you, if you see me looking down, I got my little notes right here.
Okay, I see you all prepared, Angie.
I'm all prepared. This is professional.
Hey.
Tell me about your first acting debut. Now, I did read that you've done commercials, and your projects that you did, like the commercials you've done, the movies and the projects that you were involved with date all the way back to 1996, like Nutty Professor. Like I saw you were doing valet in Nutty Professor, and I saw you had cameos. Like it goes all the way back to 96. Now, I don't want to age you or anything like that.
I know,
but
you putting me out.
I was in high school. I was in high school around that time, so you had to be doing this. Like me and you seem like we're probably around the same age, probably since you was a teenager. Now, was your story, did your acting start when your family moved to California? You started going on auditions, or how did that work?
You know, it's interesting. They tried to put me in a class that did it, but my mom and dad weren't getting along. And my mom felt like my dad, who wanted to be in the theatrical business, she felt like he was going to get in there and try to, like, I don't know. She was just like, you know what? I'm protecting my baby. We probably not going to be together. So no, he's not doing it. So she pulled me out.
Yeah.
And then later I was telling my mom that I really wanted to do it. So, you know, she was like, okay, how you going to do this? And so
were you already in California at this time?
I was in California.
Okay,
yeah, I was
cool.
in California at this time. And,
Got it.
And then I just started, you know, going after it. I wanted to audition. I wanted to go. And it was interesting. So there was this place called, it's still here, Central Casting. I had a friend that told me, you need to go to Central Casting. They cast people for background. And I was like, background? What is that? And it was like, when you just go and sit on set, you're the people that are crossing and stuff. And I was like, man, I want to talk. Like, what? So they were like, but that's the way to get in. So I went there, and it was totally a fluke. I walked in to the wrong door. Yeah. And the lady looks at me. She goes, hey, are you available to play ballet for Nutty Professor? And I said, yeah. And she was like, okay, I got my 2 valets, and it was me and this other guy. She signed some voucher, and she was like, honey, stay on this, and then you'll be able to be SAG eligible, and you'll be able to join SAG. I wasn't even SAG yet.
Yeah.
And that's how that happened. And
so before we go into that, for those that don't know what SAG is, because there's people that aren't, you know, in that world, what is that exactly?
SAG is the Screen Actors Guild. There used to be SAG, which is Screen Actors Guild, and there was AFTRA, and those two merged. So now we have SAG-AFTRA, or it's after SAG. No, it's SAG-AFTRA. That's right. It's a union for actors, and it's what we are in, so that we get certain rate paid per day equally. I love that. If you're in the union. And it's really good. I mean, you know, they look out for us and make sure. Like sometimes when you hear rumblings about us going on strike, it's because maybe they want us to get paid more for streaming, because streaming was new at one point. Now it's the main thing. So they were like, we got to up the money on streaming, and so our union will go to bat for us. And so that's what the union does.
I love that. That's what Nori from Drink Champs, Noriega, the rapper, that's what he always says that they need in music, that they need something for artists in the music industry, like what they have for actors, SAG. So for those of you guys who are listening now, that's what Nori is always talking about in his podcast when he says like SAG. So I hope they develop that. I hope they develop that in the music industry too.
Yeah, they need that, because otherwise, you know, it's a producer's game. It's a creator's game. And so, you know, if you don't have a union, then the people that are usually the face of things aren't really the people that are the power of things, and they get taken advantage of.
That's
so
what he
kind of helped that.
Yep, that's what he talks about all
Yeah.
the time. So we veered off. So going back now, so you walked in there and she's like, "Can you be down? Can you do this with for Nutty Professor?" You're like, "Yes, let's
Yeah.
do it." So
Yeah, so I went and did it. I went and did it. And it was so interesting. You know, there's little moments in all of our lives that you are given these opportunities. And so sometimes you are alert and aware to take advantage of that
yes,
opportunity. And sometimes you might get timid and you let it go. But it was interesting. While I was on the Nutty Professor, we were doing these night shoots. So I remember I went to get on the phone to call my girlfriend at the time and who's my wife now, and the director Tom Shadyac of the movie was getting on the phone to call
yeah,
his wife, and it was a trip. We both were calling, and we had this moment, and then we talked. I had no idea who he was at that point because we hadn't
yeah,
shot yet, and it was like, man. I always think back and go, I wish I would have talked to him and had more of a moment because he was totally
right.
available. And I've heard that he's just one of the coolest guys, but it was just so funny. And we both got off the phone and we went to set. And then all of a sudden he was like, all right, I need everybody. And I was like, whoa, like this dude I just had a brief convo with, like he's the director of this film. And so that was crazy. But it was fun seeing Eddie Murphy do his thing and seeing
Yes,
behind the scenes of how it all worked. And that's when I knew, like, all right, I'm gonna do this and I want to do it with lines. I want to have,
absolutely.
yeah. So
I love that. So from there, did you was that your very first thing or were the commercials your first gig?
no, that was my very like first thing. But then my very first job, like as a principal actor, was a commercial. Yeah, it was a soda commercial. And
I
it
read
was
that too.
funny. Yeah, you did.
I
Yeah,
did.
and so that was, and it was so funny because I had no idea. So when I booked it, I told my boys, I was like, oh yeah, I was like, listen, man, they're probably gonna give me a case of it. You know what I'm saying? Let me know if you want some. I'm
Right.
gonna get you some. I'm talking all this stuff. I had no idea. And it was like there was no soda to even be found. It was we were in a classroom dissecting frogs. It was had nothing to do with it. But yeah, it was just so funny how you don't know what you don't know. But that was fun. And I was like,
Absolutely.
oh man. And then when I started seeing like the residual checks, I was like, so wait a minute. I'm getting paid for what I did a month and a half ago, and I'm gonna keep getting. Oh, it's good.
Oh, it's up.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Right,
So
right. So I
yeah.
see also what I think is pretty dope. Tell me a little bit about working with Al Pacino. You worked with
Oh
him
man.
on Any Day Now, the TV show, and he's an absolute legend. So tell me a little bit about meeting him and working with him.
You know what's funny? I was on a series Any Day Now was my first series Any Day Now, and I ended up booking this thing called Simone, which was
Okay.
starring Al Pacino and Rachel Wood. She's on Westworld now,
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
So Rachel Evan Wood, and so that was wild because that was like my first introduction into how I approach roles. So like the first day, Al Pacino was we were doing a scene that he was playing a down and out director. No one he thought he was, you know, no one wanted him anymore. He was having a red carpet scene. We were doing a scene where he was doing his red carpet. He was vacuuming his own carpet. So, anyways, we walk up to him we're supposed to walk up to him and ask him about the movie. He doesn't know if anyone's going to show up. So that first day, I see him walking on set, and I'm like, Mr. Pacino,
Yeah.
hey. And he's like looking down. He's not really looking up at me. He's stumbling. He just throws his hand up and he mumbles something. I was like, yo, I was like, is Al drinking now? Like, what is he?
Right.
What is he on? I
Yeah.
was like, wow. And so what I found out is because the next day we were doing a scene where we actually showed up and we're clapping for him, and he saw that all these people showed up for his film. So it was a whole different type of scene. And so when I saw him the next day coming on set, I was like, hey, Al. And he was like, hey, what's going on? And he had a little pep to his step. And so then what I learned was he's a method actor. So like he lives out his scenes. He doesn't just
Right.
play out his scenes. So however his scenes are for the day, that's how he lives the life that
I like
day.
that.
And so that's why I started really learning method. You know, like I really live out my scenes and my relationship with my characters. Like on if we're best friends on the film or on a TV show, then I'm gonna talk to you during lunch. I'm gonna connect with you. We're gonna vibe.
Right.
If we're not friends, if we're actually, you know, nemesis, if we're against each other, then I'm not gonna talk to you at all.
Yeah, to get into
I'm
the
not saying
character.
nothing. Yeah, yeah. So I really learned. method actor from Al, and I just thought that was amazing. Yeah.
While we're on method acting, I see that you played in a movie a gambling addict. How was
Oh,
how was that?
yeah.
Because to do method acting and tap into that, that must have been really like, I don't want to say traumatizing, but to get into that type of character where you have to like tap into like any type of addiction had to be like
Yeah.
super real.
Yeah, that was cool. I shot that in New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico, with Mary McCormick, who was the star of that show, In Plain Sight.
Yeah.
It was about people that, they put them in the witness protection program,
Yeah.
and that was fun. I mean, I got to play this college phenom. I got to play basketball in front of a
Yeah.
bunch of people. It was fun, but it was interesting because that character is very selfish,
Right.
and so usually I'm the kind of guy on set where I want to say hi to everybody and
Yeah.
and I want to be a light and talk. And I remember like part of my thing was not gonna really talk to anybody. I'm really gonna be in my world
Yeah.
and kind of do my own thing. And when I need something, then I will use charm to get something.
Right.
And you got to be careful because sometimes you live in that. People are
You
like,
blur
yo,
the
who's this?
lines. Yeah,
Yeah,
between
like
reality and that. Yeah.
yeah, people could be walking away going, "Who this fool? Like, who he think he is?"
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got to have the right moments. You got to know, still at the end of the day, you're professional when you're on set. But
Right.
I just try to use whatever I can use that's going to help me live in the moment and live in the scene. And so I started looking at gambling and seeing how it was, and I found out, man, that world is addicting. Like,
I've
you
worked
get
in
in
a
that
casino
world,
before. I've worked in a casino and
yeah,
I've seen it all.
yeah. I mean, people talking about, so if I sell my car, how much? Like, I was learning all that and just seeing like how people are doing it every day. Like they can't even watch a game if they don't have no money on it. Like it's just not even appealing to them.
Some people, I've seen so many things like on the slot machines, they're so addicted and so entranced into the game, they won't
Yeah,
even get up to go to the bathroom. They'll pee right there in the seat. Like crazy
that's
stuff.
crazy.
Like come from work and switch. They might work for like a bus company or a certain company, switch their clothes and
Yeah,
they might lose their house money and then just come crying like or just feel like it's
yeah,
just so like psychological certain things that I've seen. So that's why I was curious about you having to play a gambling addict to tap into that. Like addiction is like it could be draining for actors, but I feel
yeah,
like some of you guys best roles are when you're playing the opposite of who you are. You have to tap into a world that you may
yeah,
not even know anything about, and you have to research that whole world. You have to tap into those emotions. You have to like really get into it. So salute to you for that, being able
man. Thank you,
to do
thank
that.
you. Yeah,
Absolutely.
there's a role. I don't know if you. There's a role that I did for this show called The District, and I
Hmm.
had schizophrenia, and
Oh wow.
that role I really really tapped in. I remember it was with Craig T. Nelson. It was on CBS, and I remember that I had schizophrenia, and
Yeah.
so I had to really create like four different people that were talking to me always, and no one else could see them.
Yeah.
And so I really went into that, did a lot of research on that. I remember telling my wife, I was like, listen, I'm shooting this over the next 8 days. I'll be here, but I'm really not going to be here.
Yeah.
And I really delved into that, and it was interesting. It was the first time I got a letter from all the executive producers, and they were like, "Hey, listen, this show is going to air on such a date, and we just want to let you know how proud we are of the work you did. It was some of my best work.
That
Thank
is
you. Yeah,
awesome. That is
yeah.
awesome. Y'all make sure y'all tap into Derrex Brady and all of his projects
Hey,
because he's so phenomenal. Um,
wow.
what were your favorite projects to work on, and what characters do you like to play?
Mm.
If you can name, like, let's say two of your favorite projects.
Um. Wow, that's good. I yeah, that's tough, man. There's a lot. I would just say the one I just spoke of with the schizophrenia, that was a great experience because before that I had saw an article with Leonardo DiCaprio, and he was like one of the best feelings in life,
Yeah.
aside from having your baby or sex, just keeping
Right.
100. He was like one of the other best feelings in life is when you've done so much work on a role, you're so tapped in that you're literally on a roller coaster ride. Like there are no mistakes.
Yeah.
Everything you do is perfect
Yeah.
because everything is so honest and true and you're tapped in.
Yeah.
And for that role, I was so tapped in that I could access my emotions at will, however many times you wanted me to. You need me to cry 30 times, got it. You need me
right.
to, you know, veg out, or you need to zone out or go somewhere else, easy. And so that's what I felt on that role. And I think the other one, and I'm not just saying it just because I'm on it, is my show Johnson. I really, really love. It's one of my favorite characters to date that I've been able to play, because usually when I play a role, right, I usually, if I play a role that's like where the character is highly educated or he can articulate himself, he's kind of boring or goofy, you know. But on this show, Jarvis, he's a mortgage broker. He has 35 employees. He's highly successful. He got he had the champagne Range Rover. He also got a black, Range Rover. He's set. He got some look, but he still got swag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never been able to play that. A lot of times in TV and media, there's a certain role, a certain way that we're depicted. If you have swag, then sometimes you're a drug dealer, or you're in the music, or you're an athlete. But rarely are you highly educated. You have a business, your own company, you're an entrepreneur, and you still swaggy with it. And so that, I really love playing that. It's really fun. I feel like it's a really rounded out character.
I would say that is like how you are. Swaggy, successful, attractive. That's you. You play yourself. So big up yourself.
Hey, I'm gonna take that, Edgy. All right.
Definitely. So so the project you're doing now, tell the people the name of it again.
The project that I'm doing right now is Johnson.
Johnson.
It's Johnson. It's on Bounce TV. We're in season 2. And it's an amazing show. I mean, it's about 4 kids that met each other on the blacktop in elementary, and we lined up in alphabetical order, and we found out that we all had the same last name but no relation.
Absolutely.
And forward 25 years later, and we're still best friends, and we're navigating through life. We're all in different places. My character's married, another character's going through a divorce, another character is seeing if they want a girlfriend, and the other one's just trying to get a girl. And so we have all these things that are going on, and the plight of Black men. We're 4 Black leads, and we're like navigating through life in this environment, in this culture, and we're able to really depict how we live. Because sometimes on TV, we don't really get to see that. A lot of times when I watch TV, I don't really see the guys that I know. I don't really see. I see a few, but I know a lot more entrepreneurs. I know a lot more musicians and actors. I know a lot more people that are married or engaged with their kids, whether they're married or not. And so I feel like our show is bringing a balance and really depicting on how we are.
Absolutely. And that, so how can they watch it on Bounce TV? Do they have to download the Bounce TV app and then they watch it like that? Tell the people how they can check it out.
Thank you. The way they can watch it is it comes on Sundays at 8 p.m. 7 Central. So 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, and it's on Bounce TV. They can get on their basic cable. You don't have to pay extra for the channel. They probably have it if they don't even know. And they can watch it that way. Or they can download this app called Brown Sugar. Download the app, Brown Sugar, and they could actually binge the whole season 1, and they can go all the way up into episode 7 airs this Sunday. And the way it works is that every new episode that airs on Sunday, they can get it the very next day on Monday through the app.
Okay, that's what's up. I'm going to put all that stuff in the description so they can just go in there. And this is also executive produced by the legend, Cedric the Entertainer. Tell me how that is working with Cedric the Entertainer. And when he came up with this concept, did he reach out to you to be on this, or how did you come to where you guys are working together and you got this role?
Man, that's a great question. Well, first, Ced is just the coolest. You know what I'm saying?
King of comedy.
That's a legend. He's a king of comedy. He's a legend. And, Ced is just really cool. And it's really interesting because, quiet as kept, there's another network, I won't say, but there's another really, really big network that was really interested in the show. And Ced worked with Deji LeRae, who actually created the show, and Thomas Q. Jones, who are the showrunners of our show. And they really shopped it around. They did something that's really rare. 2 things. One, they were not willing to break up the 4 of us, because we actually did a pilot 5 years before it got picked up.
Wow.
Yeah. And so they shopped that around. There was interest from other networks, but they were like, one, we're not willing to break up the 4. We want to keep them together. And 2, we have to be on a network where we could tell our story with our creative control and have our voice.
I love that.
So it's a show for us, by us. And so that's how it ended up going to Bounce. And so Ced really pushed for that. Deji LeRae, who created the show, he came to me. We were working on an HBO project years ago, and he was very, very just nonchalant about it. He's like, yo, D, I wrote this script. I think there's a character in there for you. You should take a look, man. You want to read it?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all he said. And I said, yeah, no, absolutely. Send it to me. And I read it like within 3 days, got back to him and said, yo, I really think I can bring life to this character, Jarvis, man. He was like, all right, man, cool. You got it.
I love that.
And then like a month later, a month or 2 months later, we got together to do a table read. And he just told us all right there, listen, none of you guys have to audition. Like, don't worry about this. You guys have been auditioning for a long time. I've been watching you. I've been watching your craft. I've been watching your work. I've been watching your character.
Yeah.
And so no nerves intended. We're going to do this pilot and you guys got the role. So we did that. And then like about 6 years later, it was funny. A real quick story. Deji said to me, he hits me up and he goes, hey, D, he texted me and he was like, yo, man, so how's everything going? I was like, man, I was just telling myself, if I got called to do a show right now, man, I wouldn't be able to do it. I need to get ready. I've been eating too much. I need to get it. And he was like, really? He was like, let's talk tomorrow. So he calls me on Zoom and he's like, yo, so what were you saying? I was like, yeah, man, I started working out yesterday. I just need 2 weeks. I just told myself if I want it, I got to go after it. And he was like, yeah. He goes, hold on. So then Thomas Q Jones comes on, who's the showrunner along with Deji. He goes, yeah, so Thomas, Darius was just saying that if he's not ready, he needs more time. And so they were like, so how much time you need? I was like, about 2 weeks. He goes, what if you had 2 months? I said, what are you talking about? He goes, yo, we just got the news. We got picked up. We're going to Atlanta to shoot for 3 months. And that's how I learned that with the show. And then we did the same thing to Philip, who plays Keith. So that's how I learned about that. But Cedric is great. And DL is also on the show, DL Hughley. So we got 2 kings of comedy on our show.
2 legends. That's so dope. It must be so fun to go to work every day and just be with them.
And it's hilarious. First of all, the 4 of us, Deji, Thomas, and Philip, myself, we really do have chemistry. Doing the pilot like 6 years ago really gave us an opportunity to really band as brothers. And so what you see on screen is what is off screen. We go to vacations together. We went to Zihuatanejo, Mexico together. I know I didn't have to say Zihuatanejo, but how many times you get to say that? I'm gonna use it. But we've been to each other's, weddings. It's real, and that's our brotherhood. And then with DL plays Uncle Eugene on the show, and he's just amazing. And to be able to work across from that legend who shows up and is ready, man, what are you gonna do?
Y'all are all super, super talented. Y'all make sure y'all check Derrex Brady out. Download either the Brown Sugar app and binge watch it, or you could get Bounce TV on your regular cable. Everything is going to be in the description. Make sure that you guys check him out because it is a dope, dope, dope series. And so going into this other question real quick, right? I always wondered this, right? And now that I have a successful actor in front of me, I could ask you the question. As an actor, how do you deal with rejection? That has to be hard. Like, tell us a little bit about that. Or for the people that's watching now, that's like up and coming actors, and they may get really bummed out, or even models that's watching, how does one deal with the rejection?
First of all, you got to have your support circle. You got to have it. You got to have your support. You got to have people that you can call. You got to have people that you can talk to. It's tough because everybody sees the accolades. They see when everything's greenlit, when it's going, when you get money. But they don't understand that, honestly, this is really a game of 98% of the time you're told no. 2% of the time.
Talk about it.
Now that 2% is really, really amazing, and it's what helps you go to the next when you go through the desert. But it's hard. I was just talking to, Thomas the other day, and I was talking to Philip about it as well. Is I had like 7 auditions in the midst of like a week and a half. I got none of them. I was up for 2. One of them I really, really wanted. Is this other recurring character, and I didn't get any of them. And so
Yeah.
it's tough because, you know, you're taking your time, you're reading the material, you're getting it down, you're learning it. You get a partner so you can read with, and you're doing all this stuff
Yeah.
for this moment. And to not get it, you just got to go to the next. But you know,
Yes.
number one is I know amazing things are coming for me.
Yes.
I know that I got a circle around me that I can talk to and that I can like unload and just,
Yeah.
you know, get it out and not let that balloon get so full that it pops.
Yep.
And then I got certain people in my life that I can really go to. Like for once, one of them we know one of them we know the same, a mutual coach, Coach Christina. You know, I love her.
Shout out to Coach Christina. I love you. She's been on my
Shout
podcast
out.
too.
Really? Oh, I know that was amazing.
I did an interview with her. I'm gonna send it to you so you can see it.
Please do. Please do. I love her. She has helped me tremendously. Just walking into me, you know what I mean, and feeling comfortable with me. You know, a lot of years, you have sometimes so much self-doubt or because you're on, you're off, you're on, you're off. And so you got to dig in and really know who you are and what gifts you have and the blessings that you have and that you can share. And so Coach helped me with that. And so having certain people like that, you know, my wife and my boys, my friends, I can go to that can lift my wings up when they get heavy. And then you pull up the sleeves and you remember what you got and you go give it again on the next. So I had an audition yesterday where I'm claiming it. I'm gonna get it. You know,
that's
what
right.
you do. You just keep moving. So for everyone out there, you know, even if it seems like when is your time will come, just be ready.
Amen.
Just be ready. And
so true.
You'll see it.
And keep going. Keep going.
Keep going.
You know, I saw that one of your, tell me, I read this online that this is one of your personal quotes, but tell me if I'm wrong, because sometimes online, you know, things could be, you know, false. But it says, your personal quote is, the blessing is not just being blessed, but recognizing that you're blessed. Did you say, is that like one of your favorite quotes or something you said?
That's my quote. That's mine. That's my quote.
That's his quote right there.
Angie, your research is like, wow. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. That's my quote. Because you know what? There are seasons where like things are just coming and they're opened up and amazing things are happening. And so, you know, the blessing is not just being blessed, but recognizing that you're blessed. That gratitude is what's going to help your light shine. That gratitude is going to help you, you know, because at the end of the day, when people are on set, they want to be on set with someone that's not a jerk.
Yeah, that's positive.
Someone that's positive, that loves what they're doing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so gratitude is the key that opens the door to that. So yeah, the blessing is recognizing that you're blessed. Yeah.
Absolutely. So stay focused, y'all. Keep going. The words from Cedric Brady coming from the desk of him. Don't let it get you down. If it knocks you down 9 times, get up 10, like Cardi B said. Keep going.
Yeah, keep going. And it's okay to be like, you know what? Dang, I don't feel good right now. Like, this sucks. Like, it's okay to own that emotion. So that way, you know what it is to push it out. You know, sometimes people try to act like they push it, they stuff it. They don't talk to nobody. And then, you know what I mean? You know, in our business, there's a lot of people that are losing the battle of life on certain things because it can get depressing. So you got to own what that feeling is. And go on, push that out, exhale, and then move on to the next because you got better things coming.
That's so true. Thank you so much, Darius, for that. And while we're on that topic, what advice would you give up and coming actors and actresses? Like, it doesn't have to be like a full thing, just something that you learn that you think will help up and coming people.
I would say that, especially because we're in the influence world and that is really important and that's valid and that's here. I would say all that is great, the social media and all that, but learn your craft.
Right.
Learn your craft because your craft is going to keep you around when you get these opportunities, right? Because if you get the opportunities and you don't got your craft on, you know, you go in the studio and they tell you to freestyle and it's like, huh? Or they tell you to flow one of your rhymes and you don't got it down, or they tell you, give me a monologue or give me a, you know, you want to just be ready. And if you got your craft and your technique, you ready for all those opportunities. So that's what I would tell everybody. Learn your craft. The celebrity stuff, that stuff will come, but the work comes from the craft.
That is such awesome advice. I heard that advice before, that same exact advice when I was a teenager. and I was in Columbia Records, and Ron Archer was in there. He was the image consultant. He started out in radio. Rest in peace, Ron Archer. He was very close with the rapper Nas. Nas has in one of his album covers like a whole. Remember when CDs used to be around and you would be able to open up the accordion of the paperwork? Ron Archer was like,
open it up.
He was right in the middle of that, and he was like really close with Nas. He gave him so much advice, and I was really blessed to meet him when I was 15, and I was in Columbia, hanging out there, just soaking up game from him. And a friend of mine was in there, and he told her to sing, and she froze. And he said the same words that you said. He said, "Be ready at all times and master your craft, because you're tripping up now. I'm telling you to sing. This is a situation you're going to be in where you're not going to be ready. Your makeup is not going to be done. You're not going to have something ready, but just be ready at all times. If this is really what you want to do, if you really want to sing, be ready to sing whenever I ask you to, or whenever anyone asks you to." So it was something that I remember that he always said, and now you said it. So guys, know your craft and be on go at all times. So absolutely. Okay. So I wanted to ask you this. Have you ever done modeling? You should.
Really? Okay, Angie. Okay.
You really should. Clothing, like anytime, like if there's any modeling gigs, I'm not your agent, I'm not your manager, but I think, if you're Derrex agent, if you're Derrex manager, get him some modeling gigs, please. Some like health. I could definitely see you in like the health and wellness, which we're going to go into another part of the conversation when we talk about, because I know you're very passionate about health and wellness, and we're going to go into your production stuff. But I think you would definitely be a good model for that too. You should look into that.
See that. Okay.
Go on modeling gigs too. Have you ever done any of that stuff?
I've done a little bit. We actually did a cover of Rolling Out magazine, and we there was some clothing that I did for an editorial piece called it's a company called House of Humble. Dope company, and I did some stuff with one of their outfits, and I'm going to be doing some more. But I haven't really dived into that, but I appreciate you saying that. And I've heard it, but I'm like, all right.
Look into it. Look into it. Because this is going to get me into my next question. I read online that you're passionate about health and wellness. How did you get into your health journey? Did you play sports as a kid? Were you an overweight kid? Do you feel like health and wellness helps you to stay positive? Like, tell me. And then you also said you went on a hike right before this interview, and in LA, it's in the morning time now. So tell me how you got into that, and what does it mean to you?
I got into it like, playing football and basketball and track in high school, and then just kind of trying to be ready and get ready for roles. I kind of always would have to work out, but what would happen is I would end up booking something, and then like in play sight, I had to play basketball, and I had sprained my ankle a while back, so I wasn't really on the court. Now I'm doing all this stuff to try to get ready. And I saw a quote from Denzel, and he was like, "Stay ready so you don't have to get ready."
Yes. And
so that kind of triggered for me, and I was like, all right, I got to start really making this a lifestyle thing, not a do when I have to thing. And so I started just kind of watching what I was eating, and I ended up changing from just eating with everything to pescatarian, and now I'm pretty much plant-based. And then just the working out, I started seeing like in my family high blood pressure, and then for a minute, I remember I heard Will say, man, he had high blood pressure. And then I started seeing like, yo, there's a lot of people that are kind of like losing their life and getting strokes and doing stuff. So that's when I was like, all right, you know what? This is a lifestyle. And so whether I'm like, I turned my upstairs when the pandemic came to a gym. So I
read that too.
I got my elliptical, I got my bench, I got my weights, my dumbbells, the multi-weight dumbbells. I got my spin bike, the treadmill, and put a flat screen up, and I could just work out in my gym. And then also I go on hikes, and that is like my health and wellness. It's like getting out, amongst God's wonders, and just being able to be on the hike, and deers kind of coming sometimes, or you just being out there in the trees and all that. That helps me just kind of get away and kind of just be with peace,
one with nature.
And now don't get me wrong, I'll put on like the plastic sauna shirt
Yeah.
And sometimes the weights and my hikes, I'm going in.
Yeah.
But it just helps me. It just helps me. And so, in fact, Deji, who plays Greg on the show, we haven't recently, but for a long time, almost every week, we were going on hikes to Runyon Canyon, the famous place in Fryman,
Yeah.
where everybody from Kevin Hart, everybody goes over there. And those hikes, people don't realize they work out your whole body. And you take moments where you throw out 100 push-ups and then you just keep going. And so, yeah, it's
And
just
it's so
important.
good
It
for
helps
your
me.
mind too. It's so good
Yeah,
for your mental health.
it helps my mental. It helps my mental. Like any post-up energy or,
Yep.
it just helps me get it all out. And then I just feel so much more peaceful.
That is so dope. And it's
Yeah.
good because you doing this, like you said, is such it's being like also an advocate for the Black and brown community who,
Yeah.
suffers from the diabetes, the high blood pressure, different
Yeah.
things like that, and it's showing that, look, being healthy is cool, eating right is cool, working out is cool. You know what I mean? Like this stuff
drinking water is cool.
It's cool. It's all cool.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I love that. So before we get into, because you have another layer of yourself where you have a production company, we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to do a game, and I'm not going to keep you here all night. Tell us a little bit about who are your career mentors or people that you look up to?
Man, you hit it good with that. It's so funny. I was just talking to someone about that. You know what? I mean, listen, he's not my mentor per se, but I love what Denzel Washington stands for and what he does. I mean,
love him too.
Studied him. I watch him. I see how he is about the work. He's the one that I really would hear about. Learn your craft.
He is the whole package.
Prepared. Yeah, and he takes it serious, and he's also very method. Like I have a friend, Sean Patrick Thomas, that used to be on the show The District with me. He did Fences for the play. He did not the movie, but he did the play on Broadway, Fences with Denzel, and he would tell me, man, like Denzel, he'll take a hotel and for 30 days and just do nothing but work on that
commitment.
And every night, he said, I would see him on a stool, and he goes, between scenes, he'd just be writing on his notepad, writing notes, different things. Like every night, he just would learn something new, see something new, feel something new. And that just really helped me really elevate how I am when I'm on my work, and the notes I'm putting in my script and my relation to each character, trying to remember how I feel like that. So that's Denzel. Also, there's a lady, Brenda Gilbert, who is the co-founder and president of Bronze Studios. Bronze Studios they put out The Joker, where Joaquin Phoenix won the Oscar. They put out Bombshell with Charlize Theron, where she was nominated. Wow. They did Judas and the Black Messiah. I mean, any Licorice Pizza, any movie. Let's put it this way. In the last 3 years, they've been nominated for Oscars consistently. Oof. And she's the co-founder and president of Bronze Studios, along with her co-founder husband, Aaron Gilbert. And they took this company that was this little company that could, and really elevated to where now they did $100 million deal with Warner Brothers, and now they got a distribution deal with MGM. And so she's been amazing. I've been able to get on the phone with her and be able to ask her questions and get insight from her. And it's just amazing how God connected me with her.
Absolutely.
And, she's got an amazing family, and the way she bounces out family and bounces out her career just inspires me. And so she's definitely one as well. Yeah. And so, that I try to have people that I can really look to, that I can learn from, that has also like a balance of life.
Right.
Because, there's got to be this other piece of it. Right. That's that wellness too. And so, those are some of the people that I really look up to.
That is awesome. Those are some good people to look up to. They the GOAT who is Denzel Washington, the greatest of all time, one of the greatest of all time. And then someone who has grown. And I love the fact that one of your inspirations is a woman too. Big up to that. I love that. Somebody who is able to, it's sort of like the story of Amazon, right? Like take it, like she took this company with her husband, a tiny little company, to now a multi-million-dollar company that's producing, Oscar-winning movies. That's so phenomenal. I love that.
Yeah.
So for you guys that don't know, we talked a lot about acting, Derreck's role in you know his acting journey and everything that he does with his health and wellness. And besides being a family man and a father and you know an actor, he's also an entrepreneur. I want you to talk to me a little bit about. I see that you have you also produce with your childhood friend. You have a production company called Skyscope Pictures. Tell me a little bit about that. And do you and I want to ask you a question. If you love producing more than acting, but let's go with that. Your childhood friend, you guys have a production company. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, my producing partner and family friend brother, MD Walton. You know, he's an actor as well. We would see each other on the actor circuit when we first started, and he's done a lot of stuff in Broadway and Williamstown and all that. And we would see each other, and we always had great energy. Like, yo, if I get it, great energy. If he gets it, man, salute to you. We never would trip on each other, and we would champion each other. And one day we were like, man, we got to figure out if we got to work together, do something. And so I was writing some stuff, he was writing some stuff. And one day we sat down and figured out that we want to tell, similar stories that are unique, but still have a commercial appeal that can help bring people together and galvanize to give people different perspectives that they might not get on their own. But the medium of film and TV, they might, walk away with a different perspective. And so we end up launching Skyscope Pictures. We did a short called The Championship Rounds that stars.
I have that here. It's an award-winning short film, The Championship Rounds, starring Larry Gillard, Mike Anthony, Spady, and more, a bunch of people. So let's go with award-winning. Hello.
There you go. Hey, we take that. Yeah. And our girl Rutina Wesley, who's on Queen Sugar, she was on True Blood. Harold Perrineau, who is on Them and Claws. He's on an FX show. Best Man. But yeah, so we did that. It got 19 nominations, 14 awards. And we were like, okay, we need to do this as a feature. So my producing partner who wrote the short, wrote it as a feature. And after we produced the short, he did a feature. And we were blessed to get Anthony Hemingway, who is attached as our director and producer. Let me tell you who Anthony Hemingway is. He's the director of Hollywood. This guy is loved by so many, but he is so talented. He did People versus OJ that you saw that and won an Emmy. He did Genius, which was the Aretha Franklin story that just came out last year, and there was some nominations. He is doing this new show called True Lies that's on CBS, and he's just always cranking. I mean, Anthony is just special. And so we pitched him, he came on board, and he's been developing the script with us for the last 2.5, 3 years. And so now, hopefully, by the end of the year, we're going to have some big announcements about that film. But we're really excited about it. And so we really want to just tell stories that, like I told you, that has a unique story to it, but it has a commercial appeal. And so there's some other projects we're doing, but we're excited. That's the one that we're doing right now.
I love that. So tell me, how do you like producing more than acting? Because you feel, how is it to be, I guess acting, you're more performative, but producing, you're still being creative, but you're sort of in the driver's seat. What do you like better? Or do you love them both the same?
It's interesting. I mean, at the end of the day, acting is my first love when it comes to talent.
Your baby, it's like your baby.
Yeah. The way I can express in that is just, it's unexplainable. But I will say, I didn't know that I would feel like I have a huge participation with expression through producing, and I love producing. I love finding talented, good-hearted, positive people and connecting them for the common goal. I love doing that. And so I love being able to bring some of my friends who are talented into the fold in what we're doing. And so that's just amazing, when you can give opportunities to the people that you love and know, as well as be able to tell this story that's special. So I really love producing. I didn't know I would love it as much as I do, but I really do. But acting is that's your baby. That's my
Megan Good said the same thing, that she loves production as well. I was listening to an interview with her and Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child. Michelle Williams has a podcast. checking in. I'm gonna shout out that podcast because it's like
Hey.
it's more like a mental health podcast. They talk about
Okay.
different things because Michelle Williams has been open about her suffering from depression. So it's a very therapeutic podcast. I love that podcast. But Megan Good was saying the same thing that you were saying about, you know, the feeling of being like, you know, connecting people together and finding talented people and just being kind of in that production seat of everything. Although acting is her baby, she loves it. So it's kind of cool to hear you say that too. What can we expect from your production company? Do you have what are you excited for? What kind of projects do you kind of want to do in the future with this production company? If you can talk about them.
I'm really excited about this film that we're doing, Michael. It's about a former MMA fighter who ends up losing his wife to tragic events and loses the custody of his son, who spirals in foster care. He walks away from boxing or from MMA fighting, and he decides after some healing to fight his way out of poverty, get back in the ring, and regain custody of his son. And it's about an African American MMA fighter who's deaf. So, and when we did the short, which was the championship rounds, our actor Michael Anthony Spady really is deaf. So we didn't act this out. We really had someone with this disability that it's really their superpower. And we did the film, and he was nominated for and won some awards. So it's it's a special movie, and I can't wait for people to see this story. And there's going to be some amazing talent attached. And so I'm excited. And I feel like it's award darling. And I think people are going to really, really resonate. It's going to resonate with a lot of people. So that's one project that we're working on. Yeah,
I'm so excited.
Thank you.
Hearing all this stuff is so amazing because, you know, you're actually in Hollywood. You're actually doing, you know, you've been in the acting realm for so long. You've been in Hollywood. And I look at you and you seem so humble. I mean, just to sit down with me on my podcast and do this, you don't know how thankful I am. Just little old Angie over here that gets to talk to you. You're super successful. You're super down to earth. You're super humble. How did you? I see so many people where they get swallowed up by Hollywood. They either get such a big head and ego, they get addicted to drugs. There's so many as much as, you know, Hollywood is like New York, you know, the city of dreams. Hollywood is so glamorous, but there's also another side to Hollywood that's not pretty. How are you able to, you know, be so successful for so long and maintain who you are without letting the Hollywood just the fame and the fortune kind of swallow you up? How are you able to do that? Because that's not easy.
It's not.
Going to a Hollywood party, being offered drugs or, you know, cameras in your face or just that fame and fortune. How are you just able to continue to be Derrex Brady from Michigan? Like, how do you, you know, like, how do you maintain that?
Really, not to get on a soapbox, but really God is my foundation. God is my rock. And it just helps ground me. I mean, as quick as the blessings can come, they can leave.
That's that wisdom.
In the desert. Yeah, in this career, I've been where I've been, you know, in the waters and blessings falling upon me, and I've also walked in the desert. And and I don't like walking in the desert, so I try to just stay in my place of gratitude and do the work. And you know, and also I found that not only, you know, just being a cool, nice person, not only is that an encouragement to other people, but it feels good.
Absolutely.
I don't like it when I got an attitude. I don't like it when, you know, I'm human. At times, but I just like to be around positive energy, and I like to exude that as well as receive it. And so that's kind of helped me just stay grounded. And also, to be honest, my wife and kids. My wife, who's my ride or die and has been there for me and supportive for me when we had nothing, when we had so much, when we lost it all, when we regained it. She's been with me on that journey. And my kids, it's like I have something more to do this for. You know, I'm trying to provide and create a legacy that's going to live beyond me. And I love that. That's kind of helped me stay grounded. Yeah.
Yes. Shout out to your wife and kids for keeping you grounded. Shout out to your wife for being a rider. You know, she's been there with you before, you know, all your gigs, right?
Yeah. Yeah. She was with me when I mean, if we went to the court, the judge would just say, Mr. Brady, you can leave.
Right.
Like you can, I was with her, post kids, like no career,
I love that.
So it's like,
so she loves you for you, not for what you have.
I know she loves me for me, because when we gained it all and
Right.
we lost it all, she never blamed
She never
me.
switched up either.
And then when we gained it back, she was like, I knew you would. So,
Oh.
you don't always find that.
I love that. I love that. I should have you and your wife on an episode with Coach R. Anthony and his wife. Coach R. Anthony is so dope. Do you know him?
Yeah. I know him of being in the room when we've been in the relationship talk. That's where I met him.
And you know that Coach R. Anthony is Coach Christina's mentor.
Yes, I learned that when he was in the room and Coach had said that. Coach Christina said that. I was like, what? I didn't know that.
I had Coach R. Anthony on my podcast as well. I did a whole episode with him. And then I have another episode with Coach R. Anthony and his wife. Super dope. Super dope.
Angie, if you ever say little on me, you can't say that. You can't say that. Special people are never little, girl. You can't say that.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you for always supporting my podcast. I always see you liking my stuff. I see you tapped in, and I just really appreciate that as well.
Absolutely.
So speaking about, maintaining a good attitude and feeling good, before we get into this game, you have a nonprofit organization. You're a philanthropist. You have a nonprofit organization. I see you had several. You've been involved in several. So tell me a little bit about your passion of helping people and helping boys and helping, what you do with that realm.
Well, this one was actually founded by a good friend of mine, Jason Hill. It's called Young Warriors. I have just participated in contributing in whatever way I can, whether that be mentoring some of the young men or donating when I have, or helping grants come to the company. It's about fatherless boys. It's a program, and it's one that I wish I had when I was a kid, when my mom was a single mom.
Right.
It's Jason Hill. He grew up to an addicted mother.
Yeah.
He's never met his father, never seen a picture of his father. Actually, his mom doesn't even know who his father is. And so he grew up in Akron, Ohio, blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid.
Yeah.
That how he made it to school and home doesn't even make sense. One of the hardest streets. And he grew up there, and he found his way out to Hollywood, and he ended up, going through life and creating this nonprofit. And he now partnered with Eric Dickerson, the Hall of Fame running back of the Rams. Eric Dickerson, he's partnered with him, and they put on, golf tournaments and celebrity events to raise money for this program. It's an amazing program. It teaches these fatherless boys everything from how to tie a tie to how to look someone in the eye and shake their hand to how to do a PowerPoint presentation.
Oh my God, I love that.
How to do a go-kart, create go-karts.
I love
and they
that.
go on trips. So they're giving them experiences that they may never have.
Right.
And also having a really great male figure in their life to be able to help them walk through the doorway of manhood. And so it's an amazing organization. If anybody wants to learn more about it, they can go to youngwarriors.org. And
youngwarriors.org. I'm going to put that up on the banner.
To participate in it. Yeah, absolutely.
Young
Please
Warriors.
do.
Yes, I'm going to put this up right now.
Youngwarriors.org.
I love that. Let's put this up now. Youngwarriors.org. I'm my own producer here too, so just give me 1 second. .org, right? Hold on. .org.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay, add banner. I'm gonna scroll that across the screen right now. We're gonna show that up here.
Hey, you don't
go to Young Warriors. Go to one.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all go to youngwarriors.org and tap into that. We love that. So before we get into this game, Derrex, tell us just in general of what your plans are for 2023. What are you excited about? Because this year is almost over.
This year is almost over, man. I'm excited about some of the projects that I have coming. I got 2 films that'll be coming out in 23 for sure. Hopefully you'll have me back and I can talk about those then.
Yes, you just let me know anytime you want. Come back.
Thank you. And I'm excited about the things we're doing through Skyscope Pictures. And I'm also, the fans have been showing up. The audience has been showing up for our show. And, we debuted the first season as the highest half-hour dramedy series ever in Bounce TV's history. And the numbers just have been going up. Season 2 And so I'm praying and believing we're going to get a season 3 and go 4 and go 5 and go 6. So I'm excited for that announcement. I'm claiming it now. We're going to have that. But and so I'm excited about the projects we're doing, and I'm excited also to live some life. I want to go on some vacations. I want to travel.
Yes.
I want to go to some different places. And so I can use more names like Ziwatanejo. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, doing that, and just living, man. I want to get involved in some other projects as well. I want to be able to participate in some indie projects, some people that are trying to get put on or that are doing things of content that I really think are amazing. I want to participate and lend my name and my whatever my attributes are to be able to contribute. I want to do some things like that as well.
Yes, big things coming for you, y'all. Make sure y'all tap in with Derrex Brady. Tap into his the show, the TV series that he's doing right now. Bounce. All his stuff is going to be in the description. Make sure you go to youngwarriors.org and see how you can get involved. Right before we go into a game, I just want to let everybody know. Shout out to all of the platforms that's listening to me right now. Whether you're listening to the podcast, Apple, Spotify, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, youtube.com/Angie's World. We're going to put this video out first, and then sometime during the week, we're going to put out the audio. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to Derrex Brady for even coming to Angie's World podcast and, just showing me the support and love. I really, really, really appreciate you. And with that being said, I know you have your day to go about. Thank you again for coming. We appreciate you so much. We're going to do a quick game before you get about it.
Can I say one thing? Can I say
Go ahead. Sure.
This episode, this Sunday, that comes on 8 p.m. 7 Central on Bounce TV, Johnson, people got to catch it. There's a dinner scene at one of the characters, Omar Johnson, his housewarming party, where we collectively have men and women at the table and we're talking about gender roles. And I feel like people are going to see this thing and it's going to be the talk. People are going to be like, they're going to walk away from this seeing it from some different perspectives. Women absolutely have a voice on our show. And in this scene is just amazing, and the men as well. And so, man, they got to catch this episode, because I'm telling you, we're all going in. We're talking about, we getting in it.
This is actually coming out tomorrow morning. This is going to come out tomorrow morning, so they'll have it just in time to see the episode tomorrow.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, check it out.
Make sure y'all check it out. So usually when a guest come, we'll do a little game. We'll do either red flag or deal breaker, or we'll do this and that. But since you're married, I decided not to do the red flag or deal breaker game with you, because that's more about like dating and what would you do if a girl did this or that. So I decided.
Okay.
Yes,
so take it out from. Okay.
So I decided to do this or that. So I'm gonna give you a couple questions. Some of them, I try to make some of them hard, but we'll see. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some of them you'll plead the fifth. Maybe some of them you won't.
Okay.
All right. So, Biggie or Pac?
Biggie.
Yes, New York City, King of New York.
I have to. I love Pac, but I have to.
Good choice. They're both legends, but good choice, Derrex. Good choice. All right. This is going to be hard for you. The Godfather or Training Day?
Oh,
I knew this was going to be hard for you.
You're not even right. You know what? I'm going to surprise people with this one, though. Godfather.
Woo!
Yeah, Godfather. I mean, that's a classic. I just watched it the other night. I studied that film. Yeah.
I know that's one of your favorite films.
Yeah. Oh,
I know it. I knew this because I did my research.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's why I put it in there.
Man, your research game is like no game. This for real.
Thank you. I love doing this. It doesn't feel like homework to me. I literally love talking to people, and like when I not interviewing, just having conversations with people, getting to know them, researching things about them. It doesn't feel like a job for me. It doesn't feel like homework. It gives me energy. It gives me life. I could do this all day long. I enjoy it. So for me, just to, get to know you a little bit, doing my research and stuff, and people that I talk to, I just love it. Everybody has a story, and I love it. It's like, I always, not to get, this is about you, not me, but growing up, I used to watch, I I used to watch Oprah, right?
Oh,
And
wow.
one of the things that I admired so much about Oprah is how open-minded she was. Like 1 minute she could be in the projects interviewing Jay-Z, and the next minute she could be in the White House interviewing Barack Obama, or she could be interviewing, just like how open-minded she was to get to learn people from all walks of life. And that's kind of like, I took a little bit of that. And then my other idol, which people always tell me I remind them of, which is awesome because she's so iconic, is Angie Martinez. And it's like,
I see that.
I love how dope she was, how she, you know, how she was able to break into a male dominated game and just kind of do her, and just like a mixture of those I grew up watching. And so for me, it's not, I just love talking to people from all walks of life and doing my research on them and getting to know them. It literally, I just love doing it. So researching you definitely wasn't no homework for me. It was fun.
It shows.
Thank you so much.
You are definitely walking in your purpose.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Anyway, back to Derrex Brady, because this is about him, not me. This is Derreck's world right now. Aruba or France?
Oh man, you got hard ones. I've been to both, and
I know that's why I put it. I read that you love to travel and some of the places that you like to travel, so that's why I said let me put that in there too.
Dang, Angie, this one hurts right here. I'm like, I have to go with Aruba.
I want to go to Aruba too.
Yeah, I mean, that was just so beautiful. I mean, literally, the boat take you from the hotel to the beach.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I had fun with that. But then there's France too. Like, oh, that's tough. Yeah. All right.
But you had to pick one, Aruba.
I had, yeah. I might have. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. House of Cards or Enemy of the State?
Will's my guy, but I gotta go with House of Cards. I feel like the first season of House of Cards is one of the best first seasons of TV, top 3 ever. Yeah,
I gotta go with you on that. I can't.
Yeah, and I love Enemy of the State. It was a dope beginning to end, but House of Cards, the first season.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened at the end, but the first season, yeah.
All right, acting or producing?
Acting.
LA or New York?
I'm gonna do both for a long time though.
Exactly. But acting. Okay, LA or New York?
I mean, LA. That's what I know. You know what I mean? LA.
Have you ever been to New York?
I've been there, but I haven't really like been in New York. You know what I mean? I've been there passing, might be there for a day or two and then move
yeah,
on,
you did like the touristy stuff. You didn't really like get to like have the experience where, okay.
Yeah, I haven't been there for like a couple weeks and just really getting ingrained in it. No, so I don't have that experience.
So LA, I got you. The best time I would tell people to come to New York is the holiday season, because there's nothing like New York for Christmas. Seeing like, you know, you could do the touristy stuff for Christmas, like the lights at Bloomingdale's and the Rockefeller tree and just the shopping and just the vibe. But I would wait probably another year when New York really fully opens up and all this monkeypox stuff is gone and this pandemic stuff is gone. But I really think that you would definitely enjoy New York.
Okay, I think I definitely believe I would enjoy it, especially during Christmas.
Yeah, I think you would really, really like it. You and your family, your kids, seeing the tree and everything, that would be dope. And the ice skating, Rockefeller Center, all that stuff. Wow, it's really, there's a lot to do in New York for Christmas. But in the summer, I feel like, no, stay in California.
That's when it's all humid, right?
It's too, the weather is horrendous in the summertime. No. Okay, Bad Boys or Friday?
Bad Boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ice Cube or Will Smith?
I gotta go with Will, and that hurts too. But I gotta go with Will. Even now, even in the midst, I gotta go with Will.
Yeah. He's still the GOAT, even though his behavior is a little off.
He's been a big inspiration for me. So yeah, I gotta go with Will. I'm not knocking anybody out at the Oscars, but.
Yeah. Damn, why he had to do that to my guy Chris? You want to know something? Chris Rock is my favorite comedian besides Richard Pryor. He is. Chris Rock is my favorite comedian. So when he did that, I was just like, because I love Chris Rock so much. I love Chris Rock. But and then I love Martin Lawrence and Richard Pryor, but Chris Rock just hits me on a different level. He makes me laugh like no other. So when he did that, I wanted to punch Will in his face. But we still love Will Smith. You know, Will Smith gave us Summertime. Will Smith is the Fresh Prince. He's the GOAT. Like, we still love him, even though he made a mistake, but still.
Look, he's challenging a lot of us with grace and forgiveness, but because he messed up on that. But
But we can't front on what he gave us. You know, he is the GOAT, but he just needs to sit down for a few minutes and just relax.
He's like, you need to take a nap.
You got to take it easy.
Right.
Okay, Mrs. Doubtfire or Medea?
Oh, I feel like I'm like messing up, crossing the line, but it's Miss Doubtfire.
Rest in peace, Robin Williams. Mrs. Doubtfire, they're the original.
Miss Doubtfire. I mean, I have to.
I feel like Tyler Perry probably got a little bit of his game from probably watching Mrs. Doubtfire. That was like the first of that type of character.
Look at the dresses. They almost the same.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're both like the same, Mrs. Doubtfire and Medea, but I wanted to see, you know, which one. But definitely rest in peace to Robin Williams, the GOAT. We miss him. Yeah. Treadmill or the elliptical?
You know what? The elliptical. When I was in Atlanta, I got on that thing every day. That helped me. I have it here now. That's That
elliptical.
The elliptical.
Podcasts or TV interviews?
Yeah. That's interesting, right? Because I love TV interviews for what they do and the market, the reach, but podcasts are a lot more comfortable and more one-on-one. There's more of a connection. You know, I do the TV interviews and they're like, you do it for 3, 4, 5 minutes, you out, and it's quick and it's moving. But this will really get to have a conversation. And so my experience, I enjoy more with the podcast, but I appreciate what the TV interview does.
I agree with you. And especially with the podcast, you don't have the FCC on your back. You can talk about whatever you want. And then there's even though you might have, like with podcasting, you still have like a show breakdown of the things you want to cover, but it's not like TV where it's like, boom, boom, boom. All right, bye. Next segment. Boom, boom. It's like kind of like, And
the going live can be a little nerve wracking.
That's You're right about that.
You go right. Yeah. So
you right about that. Alicia Keys or Beyonce?
Oh, you trying to get people in trouble. I see what you're doing. You trying to get people in trouble. Wow. Why you give me this one?
I mean, they're both legends, you know what I'm saying? But it's a hard one. Yeah. I'll pick if it makes you feel comfortable. I'll pick for me, and then you tell me. Out of Alicia Keys and Beyonce, just for the simple fact that Alicia Keys is half Italian and she's from New York City and her voice is what it is, I got to go with New York City. I got to go with Alicia Keys. That's me, but I love them both.
Right. My answer was going to be, I absolutely love what Beyonce is doing and how she keeps being innovative. But I got to go with Alicia Keys.
Yeah, that voice. And
she's not only the voice, she's a musician. She produces, she writes, she plays.
Yes.
It's just different.
Absolutely. And Beyonce, what I admire always about Beyonce is her work ethic. I think that she has a work ethic of no other. She constantly pushes herself. And another thing is every time I've been, me and Beyonce are around the same age. So I've been watching her since she started out. And like I said, I was always in Columbia Records with Ron Archer. They were signed to Columbia as teenagers. So I always had like their merch for free, their music for free and everything. And I've watched her evolve. Everything that she said in interviews that she wanted to do, everything, she's done it. Everything. She said when she was a teenager, she wanted to be an icon, and look at her now. So it's like, just the simple fact that she sets goals for herself and she does whatever it takes to reach them. You gotta respect that about Beyonce. But as far as like talent wise, you know what I'm saying? I got to go with my girl Alicia from New York City. I got to go with Alicia.
Yeah. I really love Beyonce's innovation. I really love how she does things new.
Reinvents herself.
How she just started dropping albums and they just leaked out, or how she do a whole video for all the songs. And I just like how she continues to keep reinventing herself and keeping things fresh. That's
absolutely. Absolutely. This is going to be another hard one for you.
Okay. All right.
Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston? R.I.P. Whitney.
I gotta go with Whitney. I do. I gotta go with Whitney. I love some Mariah Carey, but I gotta go with Whitney.
Yeah.
She's the voice. That's the voice.
She is. Yeah. Me too. But that's killing me to go with Whitney.
It's tough.
It's killing me. But yeah, they're both on. But I swear, I feel like Whitney is that. She is her. I feel like Mariah's a centimeter behind Whitney. She's there too.
Right there.
She's right there.
Look, they both at the door. Mariah could be like, "You ready to walk through?" They're that close.
They're that close.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jordan or LeBron?
Oh, that just gave me an ache in my side. Oh man. You know what? Ooh.
It's hard, I know.
I gotta go with LeBron.
Okay.
That sounds crazy. I gotta go with LeBron. Jordan is the GOAT, but I gotta go with LeBron. I mean, anybody that when he's done, when people just take a moment and look at his stats and they see how far he is ahead of so many people, including Jordan, and threes and things, different things. I have to go with LeBron. Yeah.
LeBron James.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Jordan though. I'm wearing them right now.
I love Jordan too. I love Jordan too, but I mean, I hear you. That's not LeBron. Just a few more. Tyson or Mayweather?
So Mayweather's from Grand Rapids, Michigan. So I gotta go Mayweather. That's not even an option. But Mike, you my boy. But
I love Mike Tyson.
I love me some, I love Mike, man, but I gotta go with Mayweather. He's from Grand Rapids. That means
I hear you. You gotta go with your home team.
Have to. Yeah.
Dressed up or casual?
Interesting. I mean, I like cash. You know what I'm saying? But I feel it's something different when I do the dress up. But I like cash. I'm chilling. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Savory or sweet? Think of flavors. Savory flavors or sweet flavors?
Savory.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Savory. I like savory over sweet.
Thinking of savory made my voice drop.
He's like, savory.
Savory.
iPhone or Android? I don't even know why that's even on here, but okay.
iPhone. Yeah.
Last question: comedy or drama?
I have fun with comedy, but drama is what I do believe that's my gift. You know what I mean? The show Johnson has helped me more with my comedy.
Right.
But drama's my thing. Yeah.
That's what's up, y'all. So thank you one more time, Derrex. Thank you so much for coming to my podcast, for taking your time to tap in with us. And, I hope you guys that's tuning in right now has so much fun watching this and you get to know Derrex Brady a little bit more. Let me go ahead and put up his Instagram so y'all could go ahead and follow him. Don't forget to follow him on Instagram. It's going to be at Derrex Brady on Instagram. You want to plug anything before we get up out of here?
Man, just, continue to watch Johnson. I mean, episode 7 airs this Sunday. Then we got 3 left. And we're going out with a bang. It's a special season. I'm excited about it. They can catch it Sundays, 8, 7 Central on Bounce TV. And they can also download and stream on the Brown Sugar app coming to you. So come check that out. Listen, I'm going to put everything in the description so you guys could get locked in with Derrex Brady. Derek, don't go nowhere. Like I say to everybody, you could be anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to be in Angie's World. And for that, I love you. My name is Angie, a.k.a. Angie's World. That's Derrex.